What's up, Dfine Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dfine Your Health with Danielle Girdano. Strength through knowledge. And you know that I am absolutely passionate about having strength through knowledge, because knowledge is power to make your own decisions and to make the decisions that best benefit your long-term health. And I am so excited about today's show because we are talking about one of the 6 essential nutrients. And if any of you guys have seen any of my keynote speaking events, whenever we talk about the 6 essential nutrients, you know that water is one of the single most important. The human body can't last more than 72 hours on it. The human body functions, and so many processes are based on hydration. And I think it's really one of those topics that we kind of all know it's important, but we really don't understand the functionality of being hydrated, having water in the body, how the body really processes and utilizes it. And really, what is the difference between bottled water and filtered water and water you get out of a spring creek? We're going to address all of that today with our wonderful, wonderful guest, Collin West. Collin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, Collin, I'm going to brag on you here just a little bit. Now, you do work for our wonderful friends at eWater. You are the marketing director over there. But you do have 12 plus years of filtration design. And you were also in the culinary field. Specifically, you understand really the process of nutrition and what the role of water is in nutrition. And we're going to talk about supplements and water a little bit later on. But the other thing is you also have 12 years in the alternative health industry. So you're not a new kid on the block. You really know what you're talking about here.
Yeah, I've been very privileged to work with a close-knit group of chiropractors, naturopaths, dietitians. So I'm always trying to pick up information from everybody that I see around me, who generally I consider smarter than me.
We all know we need to be hydrated. We hear it over and over again, whether it's from a doctor, whether it's from a personal trainer, whether it's just from something on TV. We all know hydration is important. But what exactly is the body hydrated, dehydrated? How does the body suffer and or excel? Take us into that world first.
The easiest way to explain it is, your body is 70% water. You can see variable charts that say, somewhere between 60 and 80% water. But generally, between male and female, your body's 70% water. So depending on what you put in there, your body is running specifically on water all the time. Organ function, vascular function, it brings in nutrition and it removes all of your waste. So not to be frank, but 70% of feces are water. And if you cannot get stuff out of your body, your colon and your lower GI cannot digest nutrition, which is, basically going to be your base on all of your energy.
Well, and it's absolutely amazing to me that, the cleanses and the detoxes have become such a, and I hate to use the word fad, but just having water in the diet could not only save them so much more money, but it can actually work, And so do you want to explain a little bit about what you mean with, how does water and hydration affect nutrients being absorbed into the body and the body being able to purge what it doesn't need?
Well, that's so great. I'm glad you said that because, a lot of people are very excited to have whole food supplements. And I said, well, skip the supplements, just have whole foods.
Amen.
And your body's ability to absorb nutrition is going to be based on how hydrated you are because it's basically organ function. And people don't realize if you're not filtering your water, then your body becomes the filter. And the energy you put in through nutrition then has to be used to waste out what you just took in. So you're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back every time, and it's going to be hard to climb that mountain.
What's your opinion on the amount of water that's needed for proper processing of nutrients and proper hydration of the body?
You'd be surprised how often that question is asked to me. I tell them, do you go to the store and buy one shirt? For everybody, because I'm a short person, I can't fit in most clothes. So if I go somewhere and I say, all right, everybody needs 8 glasses of water, big people are going to be dehydrated, and little people are probably going to be just fine. But you should figure out half your body weight in ounces of water per day. And figure also you want to be sure to be putting the right water in so that your body can efficiently utilize all that water rather than having to waste portions of it out because it's full of, minerals and chemicals and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And the other thing that I always say is, what size is that glass? And Dfine Nation, we are going to get back into quality of water as soon as we come back from this first commercial break and really dive into what is the different types of water that are available. What should you be looking for in a good high quality water in order for your body to function at a high level? Remember, Dfine Nation, this segment is brought to you by our great friends at D Sweets. Remember, when that sweet tooth is calling, make it organic, make it non-GMO, and reach out to our friends at dsweets.com. That's DSWEETS.com. Hey, Dfine Nation, this is Danielle from Define Your Health with Danielle Girdano. You know, I know everyone looks forward to their cheat day, but even though that may be your day to indulge your sweet tooth, remember to keep it organic and non-GMO with treats from our friend at D Sweets. Recipes passed down from generation to generation using only the highest quality ingredients delivered straight to your door. The only hard part is waiting until cheat day to dig in. Visit them today at dsweets.com. That's DSWEETS.com. Hey, Dfine Nation, this is Danielle. And what I learned when buying my first home is trusted experience matters most. That's why I chose Rainbow Realtors. I can't help but recommend them to everyone I meet. Real estate professionals that genuinely put the needs of the client first, and surpassing expectations, that's a common experience. Giving back to our military, educators, and first responders is also a priority to them, so don't forget to ask about their Home for Heroes program. Give them a call today at 469-366-4943 or visit them online at rainbowrealtorstx.com. That's rainbowrealtorstx.com. What's up, Dfine Nation? We are back with our very, very special guest, Collin West, from our friends at eWater, and we are talking water and hydration today and really breaking apart myth versus fact. And in that first segment, we really went into what is hydration and why is it important? What does the body actually do when it's dehydrated or hydrated? Let's talk a little bit about different types of water. Now, when I say quality water to you, Collin, what does that mean? What does quality water have and what does it not have in it?
That's kind of a tough question. Quality water, we really focus on two different types of water, topical water and digestion water, because there are actually two different ways that it's going to affect the body.
And when you say topical, let me just stop you for just 1 second. Now, you're talking about water that we take a shower with, that we wash our hands with, maybe we do dishes with, maybe. And then ingestible water is just that. This is the water that we're physically drinking for our own health.
That's correct. And you got to remember the skin is the largest organ in your body, and its job is to keep out a lot of chemicals and stuff like that. And really good filtration takes time, and it's expensive. So you don't want to use that if you don't need to topically. You want to let your body do its job. So we want to focus on anything that bothers ear, nose, throat, eye, skin, hair, or has a low vaporizing point. That means you're going to inhale it.
So vaporizing. Now, what exactly is vaporizing point? If you could just briefly explain what that is.
Whatever we find out that the typical water heater is not going to reach a certain temperature, that means that the chemical is going to stay in the water. Okay, so we don't have to worry too much about that if it's not affecting you topically, but if it hits a vaporizing point, such as fluoric acid, it does not reach a vaporizing point that's high enough to focus on in a topical scenario. But internally, fluoric acid is very, damaging to the body. That's why it says don't swallow your toothpaste. And there's a lot of things in the water. That's why we really focus on reverse osmosis at the home for use of water, because that's going to get you the most solid purification, where you take out haloacetic acids, trihalomethanes, chlorine, chloramines, chlorides, chlorites, the fluoric acids, fluoride, all those contaminants that are really organ killers. We want to make sure that those are taken out and you have that water point of use. That's one of the problems with bottled water, is once you have purified water and you put it in a container, that container is going to be, in plastic, and purified water is aggressive. So you have to enhance it with minerals, oftentimes what it says on there, but those minerals have no point of being in your body. They're there to make the water less aggressive so that they can bottle it in cheaper plastic, and especially plastics in 3 and 7, which are BPA rich. We want to stay away from those.
Well, and it always amazes me, too, that, most of us know that any kind of water that's in plastic that's left in your car, they always say never drink because you get these harmful chemicals that leach into it. But what happened to the truck that brought it? I mean, let's face it, we're in Texas and we get days that are well into the upper 90s, over 100. Heat index is a whole separate story. These bottles are in very harsh conditions as they're being transported, just because they're cold whenever you buy it at your local, 7-Eleven or Quick Trip or what have you. What happened before, and it's just something that astonishes me.
Yeah, that's something that you really have to follow the supply chain to figure out how comfortable you are with the people delivering the water. And, it's really up in the air as to what happens, what warehouse it sits in, what truck it sits in, how long that truck has been on 635. These kind of things are going to be an issue, and it's oftentimes taken into consideration because they will have these bottles of water stored for months at a time in a warehouse just in case the FDA came into Pepsi or somewhere and said, we're going to have to shut down your bottling plant because your food grade grease on your thing is not correct. Similar to what's going on with like a Blue Bell, they have a problem. But you don't want to have to pull your label off the shelf and let everybody know there's been an issue. So you have enough water stored so that it can be put out there and nobody has to know that, the plant may be shut down for a month.
Oh, that's fascinating. I did not know that there was an excess kept for that specific reason. Oh, that's phenomenal. So let me back you up just a second. Reverse osmosis. Can you kind of, at a 3-mile high view, just give us a brief understanding of what exactly reverse osmosis is?
I'm really a big fan of this because I feel it's as close you can get to nature as possible. Distilled water is still very good, except in a distillation process you lose all minerals. In an RO system, just like rain, comes down a mountain, erodes rocks, delivers these bed minerals to plants. Plants use osmosis to pull the minerals out and then change them into plant minerals so that we can eat the plant or the animal that ate the plant. We want to use reverse osmosis to separate good and bad water and be able to remove all the contaminants from there by using a thin film composite media. I know that sounds really confusing.
Just going to say, wow.
It's basically the way to kind of isolate water into different categories and then address the contaminants per category. So in a thin film composite, which is the RO membrane, that's where we're going to separate good and bad water. And we'll keep in the pliable minerals, but we won't keep in the bed minerals because you can't go out and have a delicious plate of limestone.
So you've been talking a lot about what we don't want to have into the water. So considered a good water, what do we want to have in the water?
Really, water is as simple as can be. It's 2 hydrogens and an oxygen. We really want to have water that's clean. Aggressive water is good. Plant minerals are something that we can use. So therefore, the body is going to not need more water to get rid of it. Once again, like I said before, if you're not filtering your water, your body becomes the filter. You really just want to have water as clean as possible.
As clean as possible, meaning we don't want the bad stuff in, we want the good stuff in.
Right. It's hard to find water that hasn't been, affected by man these days. So what we really want is as close to nature as possible.
Really, the evolution of water, would you say that really over the past 20 years, 30 years? When did bottled water really start coming into the U.S. markets? Do you have any kind of a background on that you would share with us?
Bottled water's been, an option for, quite a while, actually. But I would say right now it's more of a buzzword than anything else. Nobody wants to drink tap water. They all want bottled water, but they don't realize bottled water is not a gigantic leap forward from tap water.
Wow, that is amazing that in such a short amount of time that bottled water has really become such an unnecessary staple. So, wow, amazing stuff. Well, Dfine Nation, we are going to cut away to the cooking corner with Vivian James. And remember that this segment is brought to you by eWater. Water is essential, Dfine Nation, so make sure to make each drop count. and give our friends at eWater a call at 1-800-964-4303 or visit them online at ewater.com. That's EWATER.com.
Hi, this is Vivian James with the Cooking Corner. So what's chayote squash? Well, I don't know if you've seen them in the store, but they're a pear-shaped vegetable. And depending on where you live, chayote may be called a vegetable pear or a chocho or a Christophine. Its flavor is described as a cross between a turnip, cucumber, and a zucchini. It's very versatile. You can steam it, bake it, stuff it, or fry it. You want to make sure that when you purchase it, you get a good quality one that's firm, unblemished, light to medium green in color. Chayote squash is available year-round, peaking September through May. It has protein and loaded with fiber. So grab yourself a chayote squash today and have some fun with it.
Water.com offers specific services to help you get the best water you can take. From nutritional information to in-home testing of your tap water. The water you drink should be at its best. When it's at its best, you're at your best. So check in with eWater.com. eWater.com for water purification and other essentials. Give them a call and find out what you're missing. 1-800-964-4303 or visit them at eWater.com. Again, that's 1-800-964-4303 or at eWater.com.
And we are back to Dfine Nation with our wonderful guest, Collin West from our friends at eWater. And we're talking really about the process of hydration in the body, why water is so important, and really breaking some of the myths that are out there. So, Collin, we've already talked a lot about bottled water in the last segment and kind of where the whole evolution of that came from and the good and the bad and the ugly, per se. But home water filtration systems, I'd like to dig into that because it's really becoming much more of a popular option for people, not just because there's more control over the actual quality of water that they're getting in, but in the long run, it comes out to be much more financially beneficial than buying bottled waters and or buying the little individual filters that you get all the time. Really getting something that's permanent and fine-tuned to your house, your actual water that you're getting in. So to start the conversation about filtration systems, permanent filtration systems, talk about, you have a report, a water analysis report that you've done probably several thousand times at this point, but can you talk about what exactly is that report and what does it actually tell people about the water coming in their house?
Well, everybody has different water. So, even here in Dallas, you'd be surprised at the difference between South Dallas versus North Dallas water. Okay, every water district has different parameters, and what we do is we pull up the water quality reports and we do assessments, and we look for violations and we look for any anomalies in the water so that we can put those into the designs that we make when an individual is looking for a system in their home.
So what would be an example of this anomaly, or what would be an example of a violation, as you put it?
Well, I'd hate to use my city as a example, but so I won't say the name.
I was just going to say Somewhere, Texas, unless there is a place called Somewhere, Texas. But
yeah, there's outbreak of cryptosporidia in water, and you'll find out that they have time to handle this problem, and oftentimes the problem is handled with excess amounts of chlorine or chloramines in the water. So for small violation levels, nobody has to be notified of it until maybe there is a point where they say, look, you can't get this under control, and now that city has to have a boil warning. And these boil warnings are more and more common now that we have drought. And when we have drought, water levels are low, the temperature is high in a lot of our lakes. Therefore, you have to counteract with more and more chemicals to, stem the tide of bacteria and stuff in the water.
Fascinating. Okay, so you're basically looking for harmful substances that are in the water, and this does vary from place to place as you've pulled these various reports.
Yeah, because gallon per minute flow rate is a very big deal with the quantity of media that you have. So whether or not you're looking at topical water or digestion water, you want to make sure that you are addressing the maximum containment level. So we may have low levels in the winter and then high levels in the summer, and if you're doing the average level of chemicals that are in the water, you're going to be missing a large portion of those chemicals, and you're going to be giving somebody really a false positive.
So then after, with these permanent home systems, so then we get this report back and we have a handful of violations or bad things that we do not want to have in our water. What is really the next step after that? I mean, obviously people don't want to ingest this. If there's families, they certainly don't want to be giving this to their loved ones or their friends that are coming over and ingesting it themselves, for that matter. So, and I'm assuming that most people find out about this, they want to get the systems changed pretty quickly.
Yeah, it really comes down to, the drinking water system is obviously the one that we want to focus on most. If that's going to be the first game changer for anybody's health. So after that, we can always move on and we can do extended systems, whole house systems, anything else. And everything's really custom built for the individual. We want to get something in there that's going to have ease of use and the maximum amount of toxin removal out of the water, so that you have obviously better than bottled water and possibly the best water that we can create at this time.
Well, and that's what I want to talk about. So really, what is the distinction? I mean, what would be the quality levels, if you can put it into a context that we can really wrap our minds around? If you're just drinking regular tap water, right, that hasn't had any kind of filtration system, versus, I'm going to go out and buy a bottled water of some sort, versus having a home system that's really tailored to what's coming in and what you don't want in there. What is really the difference between the three of them?
Well, tap water obviously is going to be your foundation. All right, bottled water oftentimes is actually just tap water that they put through a larger reverse osmosis or distillation system, and then they bottle it and send it back out. And in that case, the greater the volume of water that's being processed through there, the greater the variable of toxin removal. So if you're saying reverse osmosis can be somewhere between 98 and 72% of toxin removal, you're never really quite sure what's going to be in there. And when you're doing, billions of gallons of water for gigantic companies, especially since they have to use wastewater, it's hard to regulate something like that.
Wait. Doesn't that sound refreshing? Wastewater, isn't it? Okay.
So specifically in the home, we really want to be ranging, in that 98% rejection rate of toxins. And, a lot of people may say, we can take 99.9% of something out. Well, that test is usually a modified test that says we put 100 parts per million of chlorine in distilled water and we put it through a carbon filter, therefore we get 99.9%. But your tap water is not just full of chlorine. It has, 30, 40 different chemicals in there and a number of unregulated chemicals. So to really find out what you're going to get out of there, you need to have a broad spectrum coverage with different media so that you can really get healthy water.
All right, and Dfine Nation, we are going to cut away to a real quick commercial break. We will be right back because Collin has something very special for the members of Dfine Nation, because water is so important and we want you guys to at least have the knowledge and to be able to have that knowledge become power. Remember that this segment brought to you by the Highway for Health Project. Childhood obesity is an epidemic in this country that can absolutely be stopped. Make sure you check out highwayforhealth.org. That's highway, F-O-R, health.org. This is Danielle from the Define Your Health with Danielle Girdano radio show. Something that's truly near and dear to my heart is the epidemic of childhood obesity in the United States. This is a preventable epidemic that is taking over the lives of the next generation of children in this country. When I was growing up, my dad used to tell me, if you're not willing to do something to change something that you don't like, you don't have the right to complain. Well, you know what? I'm going to do something about it. This year, Dfine is embarking on the highwayforhealth.org project. What is it? It is a project to call attention to the epidemic of childhood obesity in the United States and how preventable it truly is. The project will give parents the tools and the resources that they need to make the right choices and truly equip themselves with the right knowledge so that they can help the next generations of Americans. Help me help the future. Visit highwayforhealth.org. Again, that's highway, F-O-R, health.org.
Is your computer running slow? Do you have computer errors or a virus? Are you about to throw your computer out the window? Don't! Call Whitson Computer Repair for your business or home. Our courteous and professional techs can help you sort out your computer problems, saving you time and money. So if you're at your wit's end, call Whitson Computer Repair. That's www.whitsoncomputerrepair.com or 972-743-2649. Again, that's www.whitsoncomputerrepair.com or 972-743-2649.
They don't see it 'cause they don't understand. Spinning round and round for
And we are back to Dfine Nation, finishing up our conversation with Collin West about the importance of water and really understanding the functionality of water. So we've talked about so many different things today, Collin. Really, if there's one tangible takeaway that people have from the show today, if there's one bit of knowledge that you want to make sure that Dfine Nation is equipped with, what is that? What is the one thing about water that people should know and put at the top of their priority list?
That's tough to say one thing. I want everybody to understand what's in their water so they know what to take out, because water is going to be the deciding factor on, how your diet works. So if you work hard for, bringing in the right nutrition and doing well with your diet, water is going to be a gigantic factor in that for all of your body function.
Well, and I could not agree with you more, and that's why we worked out a little special deal for all of our Dfine Nation members, because I truly believe that knowledge is power, and understanding what you have allows you to make decisions going forward. So we've twisted Collin's arm here to offer all Dfine Nation members a free water analysis for your home, your apartment, where you're getting your water sourced from, so that you really understand what's coming in and really what you're ingesting into your body. Now, that's the analysis that we talked a little bit about before, which basically really breaks down everything. That gives you all the tools that you need to make a good decision. Would you say so?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, great. Well, Dfine Nation, if you want to reach out for that water analysis, we want you to be able to reach out to Collin on Twitter. He has a Twitter handle here, West _ and then Collin. That's WEST_COLLIN. Or you can reach directly out to him at 214-350-1967. And I cannot thank you enough for offering this out, because I really am a believer in knowledge, and I think the members of Dfine Nation, this is really a beneficial tool and a resource that they can make decisions with. So I thank you so much for giving this out to all of us.
No, it's not a problem at all. I'm happy to do it. I'd love to share my information with everybody.
Awesome sauce. And, the other thing, Dfine Nation, is Collin added one more goodie for Dfine Nation. I want you guys to go check out ewaterdeal.com. That's ewaterdeal.com. He has something pretty special to hook you guys all up with as well. You remember, you can reach out to him at 214-350-1967. It has just been such a pleasure to have you on, Collin. It really, really, really has.
Well, I thank you very much, and I look forward to working with you with the Highway for Health project.
And Dfine Nation, remember, we're going to post that trivia question from today's show up on our Facebook page after the 7 p.m. showing. We want to thank all of our friends at Kind Bar, Nordic Naturals, Zevia, and Soy Joy for those awesome prize packs that we give away every week. Until next time, Dfine Nation, remember, motivated, dedicated, and highly recommended. Bye-bye.
For 20 years, Nordic Naturals has been dedicated to making the best fish oil on the planet. Their motivation? The heartfelt belief that a single nutrient can change lives. Their love for what they do and the people they do it for drives them to do it right at any cost. That means products that are outrageously fresh, obsessively tested, and passionately perfected. Products that taste so pure, you'll love them. Try Nordic Naturals award-winning omega-3s today and taste pure love. Available at natural product stores nationwide or at nordicnaturals.com.